Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Plug In. Unfortunately, my Xbox Game Pass review needs a little more time to produce. So in this episode, I'm going to instead explain the story of how I got some of the consoles I have today. Now, like I said in the intro, I'm going to explain the story of the consoles I own, which if you missed the episode that we talked about this from last season, I own a working GameCube, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, a DS Lite, a DSi, a DSi XL, a 3DS, a 3DS XL, the new Nintendo 3DS, all of the DS family are multiples by the way, a Xbox 360, which has a very interesting story behind it, an Xbox One, a Nintendo Wii, a Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox Series S. And these are not obtained in the order I just listed. Now I want to say, if I remember correctly, I started roughly during the late GameCube and Wii era and the beginning of the DS family era. My brother and I had received a Nintendo Wii as a Christmas present, however long ago it was now, because I am recording this in 2021 and this was a very long time ago. And we played stuff like Mario Kart, Mario Bros, all that stuff from way back in the day. Some Kirby was in there, and a couple other things. And then Pokemon came around during their 4th generation on the DS family. I played and still do play a ton of all the Gen 4 games, which were Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pearl, Diamond, and later Platinum. But those were not the first games in the franchise. I actually started with the Game Boy and Sapphire version, which I can do a whole episode on that at a later point. Now I remember the story of my Game Boy journey like the back of my hand, which actually is a transition into this segment, which is all about the Game Boy. I had watched a Pokemon Sapphire playthrough on YouTube and wanted the game, but that wasn't all. I wanted to play the game in the true fashion of the time it came out, which led into a quest to find a working Game Boy Advance at local garage sales. Now, my mom and I went and checked multiple, and I mean multiple garage sales over multiple weekends if I remember correctly, and we actually got pretty close a few times. There were multiple times where we'd get to a place, ask if they had one, and we'd be told that they literally just sold it right before we got there. So there was a little bit of failure in the hunt, but that's how the journey goes, and eventually we finally found one that still had the console, or system I should say. And I had the Sapphire game with me, so I was able to confirm on the spot that it worked, which led into me getting the Game Boy Advance SP I still have to this day. I loved playing the system. I had the charger for it. I had the game obviously. I spent like the whole week just playing the game in the system, and I loved every second of it. And I actually do use the system still periodically on live streams, which I occasionally do, which is all I'm going to say into that because that's a whole other episode potential. And then later as a Christmas gift, I don't remember if it was that year or the year after, but eventually I had received a Game Boy Color and then a whole bunch of other Game Boy games with it as a Christmas present. And I still have all those games to this day. Well, yes, my gaming technically started during the GameCube and Wii era. I personally consider the Game Boy to be where I truly started because I didn't play anything on the DS until I'd gotten my, at the time, heart fill of the Game Boy, which is actually the one system that I still collect games for to this day. Now, a few years went by with the DS and the Wii, and then with the DS was obviously your Mario Bros. DS, your Mario Kart DS. I have a lot, between my brother and I, we have a lot, and I mean a lot of DS games. We've got all the Pokemon DS games. We've got, like I said, I have Smash Bros. For the 3DS. I've got Smash Bros. For the Wii, obviously. And then my brother has a bunch of Kirby's for the DS. I have a Pac-Man something for the DS, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. Same goes for the Wii as well. We played a ton of the Wii back in the day, and my brother still does periodically as well. But anyway, so we had a lot of time with the DS and the Wii, and then the 360 came along, which, if you haven't noticed, there's a common theme here of these consoles being Christmas presents, and the 360 was no less of that. We spent tons of time playing games like Minecraft and a whole bunch of other multiplayer stuff on the 360, but the interesting part about the 360 isn't what we played on it, it's that